Hello, and welcome to the Graveyard Media Podcast, episode 46 for the week of June 25th, 2018. I'm your host, as always, Saine Grey. With me is Dalsson.
It's me. I'm here, as always.
And Thel.
Sorry, I was dozing. Hi.
Hi, indeed. So, we're going to talk about some movies and games we've checked out this week. Though I admit, we've all been pretty busy, so there's been very few games this week, but, you know. And
There's also hardly any news.
And finish
There's
up with
nothing.
what tiny amount of news there is. It's going to be a really fucking bad episode.
It's gonna be
good
5 minutes.
Maybe we're going to rant for an hour, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
You never know. Alright, so I guess it's your turn to start, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so the first thing I should probably talk about, because I played like one video game, so I'll just like do that. I played a lot of Vampyr.
Vampyr.
Fucking with the Y.
I don't know why you always pronounce it Vampyr. It's clearly Vampyr.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it is. It is. It's just one of those things where it's like, oh well, okay, fucking whatever. I'll pronounce it like this. And after having played a little bit of it, my consensus is, it's okay.
It's not a consensus if you have one person, but...
Well, yeah, my consensus of all of the different parts.
I think you mean your opinion is.
I mean, yeah, let me explain. It has, like, a bunch of elements all within it that are all, like, on the same level of, it's okay. So if you pile that all together in one game, the game becomes, it's okay. The combat is fine. Did it bill its, like, I didn't pay any attention to, like, the marketing very much. I saw it on Steam and was like, oh, this looks like my aesthetic.
I don't think this game was marketed at all, actually.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they advertised it once.
Yeah, I think I only knew about it because I was looking for trailers 2 E3s ago or something.
I could see that. If it was marketed, it might have been marketed as like a Dark Souls-like, when really it's like a...
It wasn't marketed that way, but you could tell based on the gameplay trailers that it was being that.
I would say it's closer to like Kingdom Hearts Light. It was constantly telling me that if I was going to have like problems like leveling up and stuff, it was every single loading screen, not like when I died or anything, but whenever I like transitioned in a zone, it's like, hey, you know, if you're having trouble with the combat, you can always kill some of your friends. That's the quickest way to level up. I busted in on like 3 dudes that were twice my level and killed them without any problem. Because the combat in the game is it is sort of Dark Soulsy in the way that it has like the energy that goes away whenever you do an action like attack.
Oh, so it has stamina and it has
stamina
dodge,
and health and fucking
and dodge, and that makes it Dark Souls. Stamina and
basically.
dodge.
Well,
That's
does it have
like...
unskippable attack animations? Because then it would be Dark Souls.
Yeah.
No, it does not.
So
you can interrupt your attack animations?
Yeah, either you can interrupt your attack animations or your attack animations are fast enough that it doesn't even matter. The bosses are all really, really predictable, but they're fine. It's fine. The combat's fine. It's okay. It's not super anything special or going to blow anyone out of the water. The writing is there, and it's fine. It's okay. It's got characters, but the writing does have like a mechanic that's actually like my favorite thing in the game.
Do you know what makes too much sense?
What?
It's published by Focus Home Interactive. Do you know what else they've published?
What?
The Surge.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
But, you know, to be fair, though, I don't think Vampyr ever really marketed itself as a Dark Souls clone.
Like that huge on it.
I think
they
had more heavily leaned into the choices matter kind of thing, which I don't know if they do, but...
They sort of do, I guess. Kinda.
As much as most games do,
I would
they
say
say
that the choices matter as much as, like, your decision to, like, kill someone in Oblivion. Like, you know, your choices can, like, you can, like, decide not to cure people and then, like, the district will go into chaos or something.
I forget, did Oblivion have,
Oblivion, you knocked people out and then they woke up.
Oh, okay, so they'd had essential NPCs instead of the prophecy is broken.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were actually the first. That was the turning point where they started doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They let you. Yeah, you could still mod it though. I think.
Yeah.
You could mod it so that would happen.
And
and it was really easy to mod Oblivion. Oblivion was actually one of the easiest to mod out of all of the Bethesda games.
Yeah. But people wanted the newer ones a little bit more because of how popular they are.
Mm-hmm.
They go crazy with them.
Yeah, Skyrim probably has the most mods just because it was the most popular.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oblivion probably has more mods than the Fallout games, though, I would think.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so. My favorite mechanic in the game is there is one that I actually really do like. It sort of gives you a reason to go and like search out all of the dialogue stuff, which in this game I wouldn't if there wasn't this mechanic. It's like this gossip simulator where you talk to people about like, you know, their personal lives and like what they're doing here and stuff. And this can like unlock dialogue options for other characters or for them. So you run around, you go through all the dialogue options, you unlock other dialogue options for other people, you go talk to that person, and maybe that unlocks a dialogue option for that other person. It's this whole ring around the rosy of going to talking to people, which is like my favorite part of the game.
Other games have done that. Does this one really lean into it, or?
This one not really. It's just kind of fun, especially because of the fact that it really emphasizes this. Like this is sometimes how you get information for like quests or find like a different like do a little bit more of the quest than you would normally. And also every time that you find one of these hints and talk to someone and use it, you use your vampire powers on them, even if it's something incredibly mundane. And it's hilarious. You walk up to them and you say, "So, I heard that you were researching blood transfusions, very similar to my work. Tell me about them." "Yes, my blood transfusion work has come along quite nicely, though I have run into a few problems I think you might be able to help me with. I've been meaning to talk to you about this."
You're going to let me help you with this!
And this is every time you get like one of the blue texts, and it's wonderful.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and I've been playing Doctor Simulator, so I've been running around and you kill things, you get like different you get different stuff so that you can make medicines for people. You make medicines for people, and like people get healed, and it doesn't go into like chaos. One of the disappointing things I think a lot of people are gonna find is that this is early 1900s Spanish flu era Doctor Simulator, but also there's some vampires in there as well. It does not, at least as far as I've gotten, it doesn't really lean super hard on the vampire thing. I mean, there are like whites that run around and like vampire hunters and stuff, but that's like, there are like combat areas, and then there are town areas. The town areas, you are a doctor man doing quests and talking to people. In the combat areas, you're a combat man and you run around and you fight people.
That's weird.
Yeah. You have vampire powers. You hit things with like weapons.
Well, how's the writing?
It's okay. It's not bad. It's like serviceable. There are some things that are like, oh, I know why you put this in there, and you're not really trying to say all that much. Or it's like, oh, that, I don't know if that's entirely period accurate, but these are like so small that they're like they're not even like main quest things. They're like side quest to a side quest things.
Right.
They're so out of the way, and all the characters are fine. You know,
like you're just walking. Where did this cell phone come from?
And, yeah.
I don't think that's period accurate.
One of the things is like the main character is like entirely the man looks like a straight up hipster. He has like both of the sides of his head shaved, but he has like the top of his head like the hair grown. It's like there's a gay couple that's like, well, I don't know, I feel like I should be proud of being gay. There are people hunting vampires like 3 steps from my house. Do you think they won't kill you too? This is not the most tolerant time, my man. You might yeah, I think your boyfriend's right. You might want to hide that little teeny bit. It's like, it's just these little things that's like, it's whatever. It's not that big of a deal. It's just fucking there.
Hi, I'm a vampire.
Yeah, hi, I'm a vampire. The character writing is fine. The dialogue writing is fine. It's not like bad. I've seen a lot better, but it's not. It's whatever.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. I'm pretty interested in this sort of, but kind of. I don't know. I was like really interested in it like 2 years ago, and then it came out, and I was like, eh.
Mm-hmm.
Would you recommend me picking this up?
I don't know. Here's the thing. You really didn't like Nier Automata for the combat and how like it was a simplified version of like Spectacle Fighters. This is like a really simplified version of, I wouldn't even say Dark Souls. It's like a really simplified version of like a target-based 3D beat 'em up.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And if you couldn't get through Nier, if you couldn't get through what you didn't like about Nier's combat to experience the incredible story in that, then
this story is
sounds of this.
I don't know. That
story,
game seemed like Nier sounded like work or felt like work to me.
Yeah.
Like
and this one,
it wasn't just the. I don't know. It was kind of a combination of things. It felt like everything took too long in Nier for me.
Maybe.
And everything. Well, and that's another problem with this game actually. Because of the fact that there's the thing where you have to cure people, you run around and do like the open world stuff. You go to like different districts where there are districts of like people that you need to cure, and then there are the combat zones. You have to sort of walk through the combat zones to get to the other district, and it's like, do I really want to fight these 15 whites again? Yeah, they leveled them up for me, but I don't give a shit.
So it's like the combat and the story stuff is like disjointed too.
Oh, they're they're very not connected at all. What I basically did was I put a bunch of points into the stealth ability that turns you invisible, so I just ran past all of the enemies whenever I was going to anywhere.
Jeez. That's really lame, actually.
Yeah, I don't know though, because I did like Kingdom Hearts. I don't know what it is about Nier, honestly, because I found the combat incredibly easy and boring.
Okay. But yeah, that was one of the things that I was feeling.
The sounds of it, Thel played this game without even doing the combat most of the time.
Yeah, but
there's a lot of stuff you have to do the combat. And even then, like for all that stuff, the combat's like I didn't do a lot of like leveling up. I talked to people and I got my levels up from like discovering things about their lives, and killed things twice my level without any problem with like one combination of skills. That's just the best one. And also, another thing, in Dark Souls you have Estus flasks, right?
Okay.
You can heal yourself a certain number of times. In this game you have a healing ability that is like you use all of your magic, sort of like in Hollow Knight. But in Hollow Knight, at some point, you're like, maybe I shouldn't use this attack because I might need to heal myself. In this game, it's like, I'm just going to use this attack because if I need to heal myself, I'm just going to smack this guy like 3 times, take a bite out of him, get all my stuff back, then then heal myself, and then use the attack again.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, it's okay. Pick up Vampyr if it's on sale. I don't know if it's worth. I checked. It's like. I don't know if it's really worth the $50. I don't know if it's really worth the $50.
Sale right now, honestly.
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I checked it last night and it was
not
on sale. Yeah,
it's new enough.
So. I can look real fast.
Yep.
Did you see any movies?
Yeah, I watched 2. I'll go with the first one first because the second one I think Saine has seen as well. The second one's Incredibles 2. So, the first one I saw was Miss Hokusai. It's a movie that came out in 2016.
It is not on sale.
Damn.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It was a movie about the daughter of the famous Japanese painter who did, the Great Wave painting.
Mm-hmm.
Also one. A million
a million
paintings of
the
Mount
man
Fuji.
Was super prolific.
No, millions specifically of Mount Fuji is what I was going to say. He was also the first one to do tentacle, Japanese tentacle art.
Yeah,
let's call it art right now.
Art, yeah.
Yep. He was very prolific, and they did actually touch on that in this movie.
Who had the squiddly diddly fetish? Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things that I was really surprised by this movie was it's portrayal of not only him but like the lead character. What I sort of expected from a Japanese anime about a very, very prolific and like famous Japanese artist is a movie about a man who was determined and attempted to get his stuff done no matter the cost. The first scene we see this man in and with his daughter is the woman's just sort of like smoking a pipe. She accidentally spills the pipe on like the painting. It gets a little bit of the painting done. He sort of steps up and he's like, fuck this, I'm not doing this. I ain't having this shit. Hey, finish the painting for me. Yeah, fucking finish it. I'm gonna go sleep and get drunk.
I forget, was Hokusai a woodblock painter, or was he a... Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, then...
Yeah.
Then I don't know how that man did so many paintings. Woodblock takes forever.
Yeah. The man. Well, that's one of the things about the portrayal is that he was sort of portrayed as like this kind of like lazy, easygoing to a fault kind of guy, but he was very, very, very like into his work. Like that was like his life. He knew everything about it, and like you'd see his daughter do something, he would be like, "All right, you fucked this up. Here, let me come here. I'll show you how to fucking do this." And his daughter was a little bit like this too. So for the most part, the plot of this movie revolved around the Hokusai's relationship with his youngest daughter.
Oh, do you know what's funny?
What?
The Great Wave, that Great Wave print is actually a part of a series called the 36 Views of Mount Fuji, so that is also a painting about Mount Fuji.
Painting. The man had a thing for Mount Fuji. Yeah.
I was trying to just see how many different different prints he made, but I have not been able to find it yet.
Yeah. The movie centered around this the daughter's love for her younger sister, who is blind, and basically Hokusai is like terrified of illnesses and sicknesses, and also is very, very, very. His mindset is art. So a blind kid is basically everything that he hates, and there is a lot of drama about that. There's also some stuff about them seeing spirits. It's not, and this sounds like it's kind of a mess, but it really isn't. It's one of those great biopics that just flows into all of these aspects of the man and his daughter's life, and it has one of those endings where it's like, okay, this is the end of this particular story, this like 3-second chunk into the life of these people, and it's going to continue and was continuing before it started. That's very much what kind of movie this is. It's like the whole timeline, this movie.
I see.
It looks like he had at least 127 works, but it's hard to tell because he transitioned between more than 30 different pseudonyms, so
yeah,
we could have missed some.
Yeah, and not only that, but like all artists, some of his works could have just been lost forever.
Well, probably. Well, I mean, ones that... Yeah, he could have had personal works that he just never shared in the first place, but I think of the ones that he sold, we probably know about. Because the thing about woodblock paintings is they're basically prints, so they make, like... They don't make just one, they make, like, 500 or something. Or, even, like, for really, like, exclusive ones or something, it might be only, like 20 or something, but there's almost always more than one print, so...
Right.
Yeah.
And especially for his more famous ones, there's probably, like, thousands. So, I don't know.
So, at very least, the man, like, has a body of work that we can definitely recognize.
Right.
Unless there was just pseudonyms we don't know about.
Yeah.
Because he apparently he transitioned pseudonyms based on style and time period. So he could have just done it in a completely different style that wouldn't be recognizable as a Hokusai painting.
Yeah.
But, like... was under a different pseudonym that we just think is someone else, so who knows.
Yeah. So the animation in this movie was, of course, very good. That's the one thing that everyone talks about when they talk about this movie. It didn't do the same like Princess Kaguya thing where it sort of stylized itself after one of his paintings, or like even the what was it? The Vincent Van Gogh film I saw last year that was literally a bunch of hand painted canvases. It was, but the style that it did worked very well in portraying a lot of these, a lot of the wood block paintings. There were, you know, of course, they depicted the paintings in the animation, and also the paintings came out in the plot and the story. Like I talked about, there was some supernatural stuff in there, and that was where like a lot of the this sort of like, okay, this was influenced by this painting that he did. This was by this, and it's like. That all the animation flows into the plot, and the paintings flowed into the animation. It was like this tier list of things that sort of squished down together and created this movie. It was great. It was a very good movie. It's on Netflix, and that's why I watched it, because it was on my backlist since it came out, and I finally got around to it.
Nice.
Yeah, it came out in 2015 or something.
Yeah, 2016.
2016.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. The next movie I saw was The Incredibles 2. It's pretty damn good.
As expected.
Yeah, Brad Bird is still very, very good at the thing that he's good at. He hasn't lost his touch for great family dialogue. There was specifically a scene like over a telephone that was like wonderfully put together. It was a really, really simple scene. But it flowed like water. It was great. It had like it was like it was one of those, you know, scenes where this man talks dialogue. Man talks dialogue something. Everything is fine in background. Everything not fine. Things bad. But it was really well executed. The dialogue was great. All of the arguments between Helen and Bob were wonderful. And it continued the story.
Good.
I thought that was kind of a weird point, that it continued the story.
Yeah. That honestly really was the sort of weird point.
Well, what else could they have done?
Time skip.
They could have done a lot of different things.
Yeah,
they
really should have.
The movie literally takes place the second the last one ends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which was really weird. And like I understand that it makes sense to have this point in time in it, because it is a point in time where a lot of things kind of happen. But you could have just as easily skipped over this. Like they didn't.
Yeah, like this. The thing is, like, this was in the first movie. This was sort of like when the first movie ended, it sort of implied that this story was coming, and then this story could have been like the prologue, sort of like the story of the superheroes.
Right. And I might have.
The first one.
And this is reductive. I'm not saying that I didn't like the movie, but I feel like I might have liked it better if it was just a prologue.
Yeah.
Because I think that I don't know. I don't want to harp on the things I don't like, but I think I'm going to go through the things I don't like first.
Oh, go ahead.
It was incredibly predictable.
Yeah.
That's probably the worst thing about the movie. Is
and this is one thing I was gonna say. Hey, this almost isn't even a problem necessarily with this movie, but Pixar, honey, we need to talk. You've had the same twist for the last 10 years. Okay?
It's almost worse in this movie.
Yeah.
Because this is the exact same twist as the last movie.
Yeah.
Evil robot.
Yeah, evil robot. That's the twist.
Robot, yeah.
Thel and I were talking about this. He was referring specific. He was like, it has the same twist as WALL-E and the other 15 movies. And I was like, what? There's an evil robot? And he was like, yeah. There's an evil robot.
Yeah.
So now we just, and of course I know exactly what I do know what the twist really is. Not to this specific movie, like the specific.
Right.
But here, you know what Pixar.
I know what
twist
the Pixar twist.
The Pixar twist.
The funny thing is, and
I just dubbed it Evil Robot.
And I just feel bad because I don't even want to talk about it, because I know that
people are gonna be like, "How could you spoil this?" Like,
yeah, it's like, wow, you spoiled it just by talking kind of about what it is. But it's like, it wouldn't be it's not my fault because it's already really predictable. Like, you could
Well,
watch this
here's the
movie and you
thing.
would know it anyway. In fact,
Yeah,
half of the movie I was going, is this a red
Oh, no.
herring?
Yeah.
Is this?
Well, that was
are
the
they
thing.
tricking me right now? But no.
I knew the twist before the movie, not because it was like spoiled for me for anyone, but literally because I looked at two of the characters' names. I was like, oh, okay.
Here we have Bob, the retired superhero, and we have Dax Evil Man. I wonder who
We have
the bad guy is.
we have Jonathan Bad Guy, the famous inventor who never did anything bad in his life. It isn't evil, but don't those robot slaves who want to be free, don't pay attention to those.
Mr. I'm a good man.
That being
Mr.
said,
I'm a good man isn't a good man.
That being said, I think
What?
that despite it being really predictable, I thought the execution on the twist was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it had some really nice fight scenes lead up into it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's one particular fight scene that's one of the coolest things I've seen in animation in a long time.
Yeah.
The one in that room.
Yeah.
That was probably so about halfway through the movie is probably one of my favorite scenes. Also, there was a nice chase scene in it. I thought that was really good. A lot of the action is super fun.
Yeah. I hope I might be
and one
going
of the
to see it tomorrow, actually. So
good. One of the things
just
that
hyping me
that
up
I
more.
saw someone else point out, all of these all the superheroes have like a power, and each power like fits into a block. Like, it's really well constructed. It's all of their power. They have a power. It does one thing, and they use their powers with everyone else who also have powers that do one thing.
Right.
Except for the character that doesn't, but
except for the character that doesn't, yeah. But and these fight scenes are great. Yeah, I completely agree. It was they were wonderful.
So the thing that's weird about this movie to me is it's a very like transition movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like they made one movie and then they made another movie that is a sequel to that movie and it's its own thing. It's very much like they made a middle movie.
Yeah.
I can't wait for this incredible cinematic universe.
Yeah.
So
that's
it's like
that's the thing.
It's like, man, they shouldn't have set it up for a third movie because this one took like 15 years to make or something.
Yeah.
And the one before
thing. I
that
don't
took
think
like 15 years to make.
I'm not convinced that Brad Bird really wanted to do this movie, just because like the thing about Brad Bird is he's really he has a way of doing things. He has a way that he does things, and the reason he doesn't make a lot of movies is because of the fact that a lot of people don't like working with him. He has a very hard line on a bunch of things, and especially with the first Incredibles.
But then it's even odder to me that he wouldn't make a movie that's very standalone, that has the same characters that takes place afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like a standalone movie. It feels like the part two of a three-part trilogy.
Three-parter, yeah. And that's the thing. Like, what it does is like it takes Bob's arc from the first movie and sort of like flips it on its head. Like everyone's seen the trailers. It's like he's being left with Jack while Elastigirl goes out and does hero stuff. And it's like it does a lot with that. And that was like the best stuff in the movie. It was great.
Really? I almost think the opposite. I think that they focused
Really?
way too much on the side plot, and like I feel like they didn't focus enough on the main plot, and that's why it was like very straightforward and almost boring.
Yeah, I almost felt like that like main plot, which was the thing that did in fact come to a head at the end, for most of the movie was sort of the side plot. It's like Brad Bird was very obviously really excited to write all of the family stuff, and like Mr. Incredible like being on his head and having like the tables are turned now you have to watch the kids, and that was the stuff that he wanted to do with this movie, and that like the other plot was just stuff like, oh, we need to have a
but I feel like
the superheroes need to fight, don't they? Shit.
But I feel like if you were gonna do that, you should have just, rather than even having an A plot and a B plot, you should have just had one plot where they all are forced to act as a family and be superheroes at the same time.
Yeah.
Like in the first movie, they did this really well, where they all got trapped on the island, right? and then they have to work together and kind of deal with the situation, all being together on the island. They should have just had a whole movie that was essentially that. They could have pretty easily done it too, if in the same exact way, where they got stuck with the Underminer or underground or something. Like they could have done that, but I don't know.
And that's like and it's like in the first movie it was like broken up into like 2 acts. There was like the stuff before the island and the stuff like on the island.
Well, if any, like it kind of was a 3-act movie. There was the setup with Bob. Then there was the middle part with the island and everyone being together, and then there was the climax where they were all fighting as a team at the end.
Yeah.
And this one was really like there wasn't really acts. It was more like 2 parallel lines that cross at the end.
Yeah, there were and yeah, that I do agree that was kind of funky. Another thing that was kind of weird is like the reason I brought up the whole Bob thing, it's like Mr. Incredible had an arc in the first movie that sort of it ended, and then this sort of like continued the arc, and then sort of like had the same conclusion basically that was like implied in the first movie.
Yeah, but it had I feel like that bit of it did follow sort of logically.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't feel too bad about that. I thought that was fine.
Yeah, it was sort of like they brought it back up with the whole.
It didn't feel like they were treading the same territory. It felt like they took the point of that and twisted it just a bit.
Yeah.
So it felt okay, and a lot of Bob's arc in this was more about Violet and Dash anyway.
Yeah.
So it was more character development for them than it was for Bob, which is fine.
Yeah.
Because we probably didn't get enough of Dash and Violet in the first one. And even this one, we don't get as much Dash as we get Violet.
Yeah,
we get a lot of Violet in this movie.
Yeah, that's the thing. I wouldn't say we got like a ton of Dash in the first movie either. There was actually a lot of Violet in the first movie. She had like probably the best character arc in the first movie. Like straight up visual character development.
Well... Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, but there wasn't like a lot of like a lot happened for her, but like as far as the
that's more what I'm saying.
In the movie, there wasn't a lot of her.
She had a transition. She had a transition
okay.
in an arc, but in terms of character development, where she's developing, you know what I mean?
Really?
Like, well, I
don't. She had like the best character.
No, I mean character development where. I guess I do mean screen time. I mean, like, where they show character development happening.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because she did develop and she had an arc, but there wasn't a lot focusing on her. Where this movie was almost the entire. Well, I wouldn't say a large chunk of the B plot was about her. So
yeah.
And I think that her character arc was better in this one than in the first one because it kind of did a better job of doing the same thing.
I don't know. I feel like it was she sort of plateaued at the end of the first one, and then that one I really do feel like they had to retread old ground for that. Just because like it was basically
it happened too fast at the end of that movie. That last chunk.
I don't know. I don't know. I felt like it sort of weaved through all of it. Like when they got to the island, it was pretty much like on the way to the island was where she had like the big thing where she couldn't put the like force field around the plane.
But what I mean is,
and then
like,
sort of flowed into the
What I mean though is like they jumped from, especially visually, like that visual storytelling you were saying. It would be fine if it was a contained movie, but because they're doing a sequel, it was a quick jump from being Violet essentially to being this open and prettier girl.
Oh, sorry, I was still talking about the first
Well, yeah, but I mean
that's what Saine's getting at. Like within the constraints of the first movie, that was like
that worked as part of that movie,
right.
And if that was the end, it would be fine. But because it goes into the next movie, they almost go backwards a lot before they go forwards. And at the same time, the transition kind of ended up in the same place, and it. Yeah. Overall, I thought it worked better in this one for at least that bit of it.
Okay.
For that last transition, because they don't show you a lot of the last jump for her, where this one is a movie about that last transition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I do like see what you're saying, but I feel like
you said it yourself, like her power is to be a teenage girl, an emo teenage girl, make herself invisible to all her friends and push people away, right?
Right. Yeah.
And after that whole experience in the island, okay, she got better at using her powers, and then she put her hair up and talked to a boy. Like what?
Both of the scenes in the cave.
Both of the scenes in the cave.
Yeah, the first one where she went to go talk to her mom, like specifically the one immediately after the line where it was like these people will kill you, where she runs out to her mom and they have that whole conversation. Then the scene in the cave with Dash trying to keep him safe.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then
I'm just confused where we're going because Dalsson didn't ask a question. You just said the scene in the cave, and I'm like, what?
Okay.
Well, I was trying to ask a question, kind of, but like she got more responsible and better at using her powers, right? But there's clearly a gap in time between the end of the end of the fight with the orb robot and when she's in the class watching Dash run and talking to that boy. What happened in between those? Like did she?
What happened in between those?
Awfully confident pretty quick. It wasn't like.
What happened in between those was the fight in the jungle where she protected Dash.
No, we're talking about the climax of the movie where they're fighting the last dude, which I forget his name.
She puts her hair up after the cave scene.
Well,
right, but I'm talking like the change in her demeanor.
Yeah, it came after the cave scene.
I no, because there was still like a jump in time, because her clothes totally changed too. Like there was, I don't know.
Yeah, and she hadn't changed her clothes since she put on the.
I think that we're kind of getting off base here. My point was just that they kind of explored that transition better. I thought that's all I was sort of getting at with Violet's arc. I don't think that in the confines of the first movie that jump was bad. But no. I thought that they did a better job of handling that piece of it in the second movie. But yeah, Dash got shortchanged. Of any of the characters, he got the least amount. And it's funny because the whole A plot focuses on Elastigirl.
Yeah.
Which is strange because like a big part of the first movie was already about Elastigirl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they kind of double down on her being a main character even more than Bob. Which, if I don't know, it makes sense because, in a way, this movie parallels the first one very closely.
Yeah, it just sort of switches it up with Bob.
So the whole first part of the whole first act with Bob is the same, except now it's Elastigirl essentially, which I thought was kind of an odd choice, but it I don't know, it kind of worked because I think she was sort of the breakout favorite anyway.
Yeah,
from the last movie.
Fair.
And what's really weird about them shortchanging Dash is at the end of the first movie, it seemed like there was a lot of places he could go and a lot of conflict that he could have with the whole doing sports thing. That didn't even come up in this movie.
It's hard though. It's hard to write for a character that's fast.
I mean, sure, but like,
and also like he's a 10-year-old boy. Like,
yeah, but that's what like Brad Bird is good at is the thing.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. There was a lot they could have done with that.
Well, I just think the reason why they sort of didn't was just because they sort of wrote themselves in a corner with how they structured the plot.
Yeah, how they structured the movie. Because
I feel like if rather than having an A and B plot, if they just had one one straight line, then it would have given more time to delve into each character separately rather than jumping back and forth and having to explain this is what they were doing during this and this is what they were doing during this. And like you got some cool scenes like the telephone scene, but and that's like a situation that could have only really happened in that scenario.
With that situation. Right. But like it's still that, especially when it's like you got the A plot running through and it's like okay, that's the A plot. There's it's the same twist that we've seen a bunch. It's a little bit predictable. All the new superheroes are cool, but
Yeah. So I don't know. Like the movie was a lot of fun. I liked it a lot. The writing was good.
Yeah.
the structure, like, I have issues with, but I think I do prefer the first one quite a bit more.
Yeah, same. This is no Incredibles 1, but it's pretty good. It's probably worth the ticket.
It's
Go see Incredibles 2. Go see.
I
Incredibles
think that undersells it a little bit. It's definitely worth seeing. It's just,
yeah.
probably, and you know, it's among the better Pixar films anyway, just because a lot of the Pixar films are kind of.
Coco was really good.
Coco was really good, but I think I'm tired of seeing Toy Story.
Everyone's surprise.
Yeah, well, Toy Story 2 specifically.
Yeah, I think I'm just tired of Toy Story. I wish
hey,
they weren't making a
with the
fourth
evil
one.
robot twist.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, the first one left it at a good ending, and the second one left it at a good ending, and then the third one, it's like, okay, this is the ending, right? Like, this is it, right?
This was like the movie that's like, all right, we're 20 years in the future. This is how it's. We good, yeah? We good? And they're making the fourth one.
And it's like, really, the end of 3 left it at such a perfect place to just leave it.
Oh,
well, that was part of
that
was, but that was part of the plot of 2, is that Woody got fixed up. Or was that 3? No, that was 2.
That was 2. Yeah, it was 2.
Yeah.
I think 2 is probably my favorite Toy Story, actually.
Oh no, yeah, that's pretty much everyone's favorite Toy Story. Oh no, Tom Hanks broke, can't do Toy Story anymore.
Oh no.
Shame.
Oh shit, you're right. Anyway. Yeah, what if he's... Yeah, what if that... Yeah, that's weird. I hadn't even considered that. What are they even gonna do for Toy Story 4?
I don't know.
Whatever.
Oh, well, Tom Hanks isn't, like, dead or anything.
Oh, I was thinking of, the guy who plays, Genie. Fuck, what's his name? Robin Williams?
Yeah.
I was confusing him with Robin Williams.
Yeah, you're confusing him with Robin Williams now.
But I don't know. Incredibles 2, definitely worth seeing, and it's really good, and the action is really strong. But yeah. That's kind of where I landed with
dialogue. Brad Bird does it again. More or less. Brad Bird does a pretty good job.
So yeah, Incredibles 2. What else are we doing? Oh, I saw Jurassic World. You want to talk about that?
Sure.
I haven't seen it.
Let's hear about it.
So go ahead.
If I can spell it. What was the tagline for this? I don't even remember.
Fuck, dude. The
Kingdom, Fallen Kingdom.
Jurassic World in the United Kingdom.
Jurassic World. The dinosaurs are back.
Again.
Jurassic Fallen Kingdom sounds like an identical one is one of the Transformers one, isn't it? Or is that one just the Transformer?
I think you might be thinking of Fall of Cybertron, which is totally different.
It sounds when you say that, that's what I'm thinking. It sounds something like that. Yeah,
it was Fallen Kingdom.
Okay.
I'm just gonna put Transformers Fallen Kingdom and see what happens.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna be right back while you get started.
Okay.
Whoa.
Oh no, Thel, don't knock down all your toys.
Okay. I don't know. I think there probably was a similar one, but I don't remember it. Anyway, Jurassic World. I thought it was pretty good. It's no... I mean, this is the problem that you run into with Jurassic World. Jurassic World is not Jurassic Park 1, therefore it's bad, right? That's kind of where a lot of people are at on Jurassic World, is that it's like, and not even Jurassic Park 2 was good, right? Actually, Jurassic Park 2 was probably the worst.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, Jurassic Park 2 is probably the worst. Or maybe it was 3. I always mix those two up. But they were both not very good.
The only one I saw was Jurassic Park 1, so...
Jurassic World was pretty okay, and then Jurassic World 2, which is this one that I saw, was also pretty okay. Chris Pratt was in it, which is a plus to any movie, I think.
It's true. That's definitely true.
And he had some good lines, but they spoiled some of the better ones in the trailer.
Aww.
They
like to do that, you know? They had look, we got Chris Pratt, he's being funny.
But actually, the nice thing about Incredibles 2 was it had a very non-spoilerly trailer. Or Incredibles. Yeah, did I say Incredibles 2? Incredibles 2 had a very non-spoilerly trailer because they didn't even talk about the A plot. they sort of highlighted the B plot a little bit in it, but
Which was what Bob being Mr. Mom, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because that's all anyone's ever seen of that movie, which actually I think did help the movie. But
good.
You know, Jurassic World actually had a very misleading trailer in a good way. I never knew where the movie was going because I didn't know where the movie was going until we were going there, right?
Right.
Because the trailer didn't kind of set things up in a way that made it not look the same.
Right.
Which I thought was very good. The plot was okay. It was sort of like, we need to save the dinosaurs. Okay, I guess we'll save the dinosaurs. And then it was, oh, the people who sent us to save the dinosaurs aren't really saving the dinosaurs. Oops.
Okay.
And then, I don't know. Which isn't even a twist. It's pretty clear that's where they're going with it pretty fast.
Evil robot.
Yeah, you run into there's like one actor in particular, when he shows up, it's like, oh, they're totally getting betrayed. It would be the equivalent of who's that guy from Grindhouse? The really popular guy with the scarred face the scarred face. He's also the guy from Machete.
Oh, you mean Danny Trejo?
Yeah, like imagine he's not in the movie, but imagine him showing up, being like, "Oh, we're here to help you," right? You would see that guy show up and immediately think, "This guy's gonna betray everyone."
Oh yeah.
Hi, I'm John Goodman.
Yeah.
Wait, no, shit. Oh, wait, fuck. No, he's actually.
So
John Goodman changes his name to John Badman after declaring he will dedicate his life to wrongdoing.
Or I don't remember the actor's name, but he's the guy in Westworld. He's the old head guy in Westworld.
Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Anytime he shows up, you're like, I can't tell if they're making this guy seem sinister because it's a red herring, or it's like almost every movie where he's the guy who gains everyone's trust but betrays everyone because he's actually evil the whole time.
Yeah, just like in Westworld. You're like, I can't tell.
Just like in Hannibal. Except this man is very obvious.
Because I swear,
did he play Hannibal Lecter?
He did play Hannibal Lecter.
Then how is that even a question?
I swear, every time he shows up, though, it's like, this guy's probably evil, but I guess we'll see where things go.
Yeah.
And
sometimes you're pleasantly surprised that you were right, and sometimes you're pleasantly surprised that you were wrong.
Wasn't he also the evil guy in Kingsman?
No, Samuel L. Jackson was.
Well, yeah, he was the main villain, but didn't they betray him? Kingsman
oh no, you're thinking of Michael Caine.
Michael Caine.
No, he was not.
Okay. Either way.
Michael Caine's usually a good guy, though.
But yeah, anyway, so this character shows up, which I don't even remember his name, but he's very stereotypical, like, soldier man.
Mm-hmm.
Soldier man McBetray everyone.
Right.
I promise not to use the dinosaurs to kill the commies. I mean, who are we fighting now? Whatever. Point is, I promise not to weaponize the dinosaurs. You promise? I promise. Hey guys, I'm on weaponize the dinosaurs.
Good job, Thel. You found the plot to Jurassic World.
They did it.
Hooray! We're killing communists with dinosaurs.
Yep.
I don't see how that guy's a bad guy.
Well, by commies, if you mean, make money. Then,
Stalin himself.
Replace kill commies with make lots of money, and you're there.
Oh, so okay, instead of destroy communism, it's promote capitalism.
Exactly. Same difference, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's one of those things where the movie is mainly for people who want to see dinosaurs fight. And that's okay, but don't expect any great writing from it or anything. It's fine. Everything is fine. It has a 50 on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that's like, of course it has 50 on Rotten Tomatoes. Half of the people who see it are going to be like, this movie had no substance, and the other half would be like, man, it was fun to watch Chris Pratt and dinosaurs fight. So, I think that's, if that's what you want, it's okay.
What's really weird about this movie is the man who directed the first one, right? This is a man that I have...
Jurassic Park or Jurassic World?
No, not Jurassic... The man who directed the first one, Steven Spielberg. No, the one who directed Jurassic World.
Right.
He is a man who I have a no-hate boner for. This man that is a man that I hate.
I was gonna start guessing names, but we'd be here all day. So who is it?
Fair enough. Oh shit, I can't even remember.
I'll look it up. Keep going.
All right. Anyway, this guy actually did make a competent-ish movie with Jurassic World. It was a fine movie. It worked, and everything worked within it. And that was not what I was expecting of it, and he did a little bit better. But unfortunately, he released the Book of Henry, so he was kicked off of this project. He was going to direct this one, but he was kicked off. And he was kicked off of the third Star Wars movie and replaced with J.J. Abrams.
Colin Trevorrow.
Trevorrow, that motherfucker. That's it. He made a movie that I fucking hate.
He finally makes a movie that you consider competent and then immediately gets kicked off of 2 projects?
No. What happened was
he makes a bad movie and then gets
Well, what happened was he made a movie called it was Safety Not Guaranteed that I fucking hated. I thought it was the most insufferable shit.
Oh, it was guaranteed to be the insufferable shit. It came from a meme image that circulated in 2001.
Yeah, pretty much. And then he made Jurassic World, which he a lot of people really liked Safety Not Guaranteed. I hated it, but a lot of people really liked it. Which is how he got Jurassic World. He made that, and that was fine. He got put on a bunch of projects. Then he released the Book of Henry, and everyone's like, "Hey, this guy can't write for shit." I was like, "Yeah, he can." And it was kicked off of everything. So, fuck you, Colin Trevorrow. That was my point, and I really wasn't going anywhere else with that.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Suck my dick, bastard. I had to sit through that shit. Fuck you.
Huh.
So yeah. I don't know. I thought the first one was fine too. It was pretty good for what it was. But a lot of people hated that one too. So
yeah.
I think that this movie's already made a ton of money, I think. So they're gonna make more of them. I just hope that they don't sacrifice the writing too hard, because I don't think the writing was too bad in this movie. It was just very kind of bog standard.
It was it was there.
Yeah, the dialogue was okay.
There was someone had written a script at some point.
It was it was a lot of stuff happened, and they had pearls of interesting things in it, but it was the overall structure of the plot was just kind of meh.
Yeah.
It was I already said this, but the dinosaurs are dying. We have to go rescue the dinosaurs. Then they're on the island. They're like, okay, we're rescuing the dinosaurs. Oops, we're betrayed by this man who was very clearly going to betray us the second we saw his face. And then it's the rest of the movie is sneaking around because they had to get off of the island that was blowing up. And then they find the evil man's plans, and then they foil him. And then, oops, now there's dinosaurs everywhere. When they say Jurassic World, they mean it literally this time.
Yeah.
I see.
I think... I don't know if... Is this a spoiler? The end credits show... Or not the end credits, but, the last scenes of the movie show dinosaurs running around, California. So, So it's literally Jurassic World now. You know
Jurassic Country?
You know what's really sad? They totally underutilized Jeff Goldblum.
Oh no!
Because he's in the trailers, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a third of all of his screen time is in those trailers.
That actually doesn't surprise me, honestly. They paid him for a weekend.
Yeah, so he shows up in the beginning and does a monologue. Yeah. And then he shows up in the end and gives part 2 of the same monologue. So I don't know. I wish that he would have been in it more, because it's you're making a Jurassic... everybody wanted more Jeff Goldblum because he was in the original ones. It would have made a lot of sense just to have him show up and be with Chris Pratt and they do a thing. Like, I don't know. But, you know.
Even if it's not for the whole movie, even if he, like, helped him out of one situation.
Right, or something. And actually, like, the way, like, and then there's, like, pieces that are, like, kind of interesting that you're excited to see where they go. But they might just go nowhere. They might make another movie and might not make any difference. Who knows?
They had Jeff Goldblum. All right, we got Jeff Goldblum for about 2 sets. Go build him real fucking quick. This man ain't gonna hang out around.
One set. One set.
Oh, one set. Oh, never mind then.
In fact, it's the same. It's the same set you see him in the trailer. It's like a courthouse.
Bring in the courtroom. We're just gonna actually, you know, do you mind if we film this at the California County Courthouse? The County of California, California.
Yeah.
We're just gonna film it there. All right, that's fine.
I mean,
right?
I'm sure they have just a courthouse set on Hollywood lot somewhere.
Yeah.
That they just wouldn't be using for an hour, right?
Hey, Judge Judy, I'll give you $100 to let us use your set for an hour. We got Jeff Goldblum.
No, what? I have maniacs to prosecute.
Don't worry, there are other sets.
So yeah,
hey, Law and Order SVU in particular.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I guarantee this will not be the last Jurassic Park movie or Jurassic World movie.
Nobody
It already made
expected
a
it to.
fuck-tillion.
They're never gonna stop. They're never gonna stop making them until they put out a flop like Solo, and then they'll be like, "What? People didn't like this one movie. We got to stop making them." There couldn't be anything wrong with it.
Or either that, or they completely like reevaluate what they're doing. But then again, this isn't Disney, and Disney does reevaluate what they're doing. Sometimes companies put out a flop like this, and this is only recently, and then just continue to go.
I think this is gonna this is gonna more mirror Transformers. They're gonna run this shit into the ground. Like that, I can already see it coming.
And hardly even like the first one, except for wow, big robots punch each other.
I think that this is better than Transformers because you have better leads, better characters in it.
Yeah.
Like Chris Pratt makes any movie he's in funnier.
Yeah.
Just because he's such a funny and charismatic guy.
Yeah.
And
unlike Shia LaBeouf, he's already fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Who's the female lead in Jurassic World? It's
fuck, dude, I have no idea.
Female lead. I guess I'll go to IMDb because nothing just pulled it up, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. Wow, she's pretty low in the thing for being a female lead.
Wow. Honestly, that's surprising. I have no idea who this woman is, but like, I feel like that's a little bit much. It shouldn't be hard to find that, really. Because, yeah, she was...
Dallas Howard.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know. She's known for being in the first one, I guess.
Yeah, I see.
She was in Black Mirror. She's in she plays herself in all of the Lego games based on Jurassic World, which is like...
Okay.
She's cheap enough to play herself in video games.
Yeah.
That's a bad sign.
I'm character actress Margot Martindale.
I thought she was actually pretty good in it. Again, because she I think all of the leads are strong, and if they keep all of the leads, it'll work. And they brought 2 new characters in who are really funny. Kind of like there was sort of a bumbling doctor guy who he was like a hacker essentially, but he was like didn't want to be there. He's like, what do you mean we're going onto an island that's blowing up with dinosaurs on it? That sounds like a horrible idea. So I don't know. I thought that they did a good job with it. So if they make another one, like I'm sure they'll make another one, and I'm sure the sequel will also be fine, right?
Yeah. It's gonna be a Hollywood. They put it together so they could make a bunch of money off.
Yeah, I think the plot. I think the plot just lends itself better to being more movies than Transformers ever did.
Yeah.
Right.
So it'll probably work. I don't know why this seems so much like Transformers to me. Maybe it's like the logos and shit. I don't know.
Maybe.
Have you seen
Was it
the
the same
the intro for the
studio?
Jurassic World has like lava going into like a thing and then it hardens and then it shows the Jurassic World logo? Like that feels like something that would be in
Pretty sure that's how the
What it
Transformers
might
logo
be
looks.
is that like this might be a thing where it's the same studio, right? And they're like, oh, they're rebooting the Transformers movies because like they kind of killed off the whole Michael Bay thing a little bit, and they're trying to make this their next big one of those. The Transformers movies did make hella fucking bank, right?
maybe.
And they're trying to sort of revitalize that money.
Oh, also, Trevorrow is still a writing credit on Jurassic.
Oh yeah. Well, he did
Fallen
the
World too.
script at first, yeah.
Yeah.
So he probably it was like yeah.
So he's like second in the writing credits, but he's not the director this
Yeah.
time.
Hmm.
So anyway, yeah, I don't know. It was okay. See it if you want to watch dinosaurs, I guess, or like
Yeah.
Chris Pratt.
I'd rather see The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I would say see Incredibles over Jurassic World, but
Yeah.
I don't think anything else is playing. I probably don't care about Tag, so you know.
Apparently Tag was bad. Well, there's like First Reformed and the story about that girl who was like abused as a child. So if you want like horribly depressing
No,
movies,
Tag.
there's stuff.
Tag was about like 4 friends who play Tag for 40 years.
Yeah. I was thinking of The Tale.
Anyway, that's that. Should we go to break, or did you have plenty of break, Thel? Because you walked off in the middle for a while.
Yeah. Oh, Jurassic World. Fucking bye. I'm like fine if we don't want to go to break.
Can I
but
rapid
if-
fire a couple games and then go to break?
Yeah, sure.
There were a couple of games that I tried.
Or we could just not go to break. But go ahead. What games?
Or we could just not go to break. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Please tell me the
You're gonna yell
title
at
so I
me.
can type it in.
Heroes of Might and Magic 3 HD Edition.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, it's Heroes of Might and Magic 3, except you can play online. You just have to forward a couple ports. That was it. That's pretty much.
Are you
how
kidding
great it
me?
is.
I typed all that out and then you're just like, that's it.
Yeah.
You played it. You don't need to tell us when you play a game. You know what I
Yes,
played
I
this
do.
week? Fuck.
Quick Champions.
No, well, yes, but
Fire Emblem Heroes.
Fire Emblem Heroes. I played a lot of that this week. Do
But
you
I
want to
wanna-
hear about Fire Emblem Heroes?
I want to point out
I played some Real World.
that Heroes of Might and Magic 3 is one of my favorite video games of all time. And when I was a kid, I just used cheat codes and got a million Archangels. But now that I actually understand how to play video games,
You hate it.
It's great. I love it. It's so much fun. It's like this big I'm sure a lot of people know what Heroes of Might and Magic is, but I would say that 3 is like the definitive installment in the series.
I think it
because
was long
4
enough that I don't know what it is. So what is it?
Really?
It's
It's
real-time strategy or something?
a little bit like a 4X. It's
Okay.
actually a turn-based strategy mostly. So you go through your turns, you have a couple of heroes, and then you have your strongholds. And your strongholds you upgrade like within the strongholds. So you don't build on the map or anything. You can't do that. But you have the castles which you are able to upgrade within them and get more unit production and different things you can do, like generate more gold in your cities and stuff. And then you have your heroes, which you can buy like 6 or 7 of them total, but sometimes it's more efficient to just put a lot of units on one hero, which you go around the map, you collect resource generators that are on the map, just like claim them and defend them from enemy heroes. There's passive mobs that you can fight, and in the fights you have like clashing armies, right? So each army is represented by like one unit with a number showing how many units are there. So like you might have 1 fuck trillion skeletons. It's just one skeleton and it does a fuck trillion damage as far as the game represents
So
it.
Fire Emblem.
Yeah, kind of.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. It's just like a 2-part turn-based strategy. There's like the overworld strategy in which you have to like control as much resources as you can and collect artifacts for your hero that power them up and spells and whatnot. And then you go into battles and it has this small field of clashing armies that so like it's like the battle within the big the big thing instead of just running it against each other and winning based on pure numbers.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is
really cool
very
stuff.
similar to that. I also played it with him, and I had a lot of fun. My
Yeah.
previous only I had played a Heroes of Might and Magic game before, but it was on the Game Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that shit. It was the fucking
imagine
worst.
playing
So,
a turn-based strategy game on the Game Boy.
not
That's
only
not
just like a 4X on
Yeah.
Game Boy Color.
I played Civ on a 3DS, and that was okay. Or actually, it was a normal DS. No, yes.
I didn't know they had Civ on the DS.
Yeah, it was like Civ something. Civ World Tour or something like that.
Yeah, strange.
It was okay.
Worms World Tour.
Yeah.
It was okay because it was sort of just like Civ.
Yeah.
There's another game that's just gonna be real quick. Is a game called Niche, a genetic survival game. That's the full title.
Oh, I've heard this game.
Yeah, it was offered to me because the dev was like, "Hey, you played Spore, play this." So here's the thing about it.
That works.
Yeah, here's the thing about it. As far as the like, if what you were into about Spore was like designing your things and breeding and getting new like parts and stuff, you might like this game. You don't hand design, you don't like hand pick your traits and stuff that you get like in Spore, though. You actually have to breed together your animals in order to keep them like going. So like you might want to pick an animal with a spiky back and an animal with big ears for hearing better, and then breed them together so that hopefully you get those two combination of traits. But it works like semi-realistic genetics, so there's like dominant and recessive traits, and you would have to breed two with a recessive trait to get that trait to show up and stuff like that. And it's kind of hard because it's like a turn-based exploration game, and each of your animals you have to move individually, and they have a certain lifespan. So like they'll live 16 turns. If you have an animal that you have a trait that you really want, but then you don't find a new animal to breed with within 16 turns, then it's like that animal's gonna die, and you'll just lose its DNA basically. And then you also have to forage for food to keep your whole tribe alive. You have to move like the goal is to move. Jesus fucking Christ! This trailer. The goal is to like move along the islands and find your home because you got kidnapped by an eagle and stranded somewhere or something. It's pretty nifty. The little fox-like creatures that are on the screen, those are like the main animal you play as. You can tell what is an animal you can recruit to your tribe and have sex with by the fact that it has those little gems on its chest. So those are real animals, and then there's things you can hunt. And now that's something I find interesting is there is no distinction between like meat and berries. Like your race is just omnivorous, period. There's no which you would think would be something that you like in a genetics game you would want to like include omnivore, carnivore, or herbivore, right?
Yeah.
That would add a little mechanical depth to it. But the game is in very, very early access, so there probably just isn't even like it. I don't think it's even content complete, let alone feature complete.
This was the other way around. This is a Kickstarter trailer from 2 years ago that's on the screen, but
yeah. But I like it because like you can even design like useless things, like you see like flipping around a couple seconds ago, probably like. There was just a bunch of different fur colors. Like, if you want a purple dude, you're like, okay, yeah, I'll get a bunch of purple dudes and breed them together. So that's pretty cool. It's very complicated, though, so you really have to think about it, you know?
I kind of like genetics games. I've played other ones that have been kind of like this, but they were more like text-based sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up. Anyway. Yeah, I was actually really interested in this game a while ago, but it did look early from what I was looking at, so I kind of put it on pause. So yeah, it's cool to see that you played it.
Still pretty early, but you know, like I played like one game of it, and eventually my tribe died out, and it's like I know that I did not figure out Like
How to
even
play it?
10% of what the game. Yeah, I didn't figure
Yeah.
out how to play it. Basically, I still really have no idea, but I know the concepts of it, and it seems pretty neat. Might put a little more time into it.
Okay. Yeah, keep me updated. I might check it out too.
Okay, perfect.
It's on sale 30% off right now, by the way. If
Oh, yeah,
anybody
yeah.
is interested in that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the dev cycle's promising. If you read the patch notes, they're constantly adding stuff and whatnot, which is expected for an early access game.
Right. So, is there anything else before you want to go to break?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, then why don't we come
Or
back
will
at
we?
5:20? How's that sound?
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Wow, that long?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5:20.
We don't have that much news, so.
Yeah, fuck it. Well, we'll just dick around for a while and be like, hey, welcome to break.
Well, I mean, I could make it 15 and it'd be 4 minutes, but
Yeah,
Give me
fuck it, let's do-
5:20.
Yeah, 5:20 works.
okay. We will be back in a little bit. See you then.
Okay.
Okay, and we're back. So for the second half of the show, we're going to talk about games and movie news of what little there is, and then probably get on a tangent for like 20 minutes and eat up all of the show time and probably go over.
Hopefully.
Just like always.
Just
Like always. Okay. What do we want to start with?
I don't know. There's like 4 pieces of news total.
Here on Graveyard
Yeah.
Media, we have 3 things to talk about.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we start with movie news?
Okie dokie. There's a little bit more movie news. First thing is a continuation of a story that we've been following. Basically, the rights to Don Quixote still do lie with Terry Gilliam, the guy who is saying that they belong to him. The producer man who produced this movie is basically just overstating what he won in like the court case. Basically, what Terry Gilliam has to do is pay him reparations, and he hasn't yet.
Oh, so
and
basically
that was
it'll go back once.
Yeah, exactly. But he's going crazy
Okay.
and is mad at Keynes for showing it, and Keynes is like, "Oh no, we accidentally showed the movie.
Oh no.
Oops.
My miss,
Fuck
I'm
off,
sorry.
Jeez.
Oh,
Yeah,
if
no,
only we could go back in time and make it not happen, we would,
we
but we
wouldn't.
can't.
We would have done the exact same thing again. Oh no. Anyway, so the next piece of news is something that was a little bit funny. This is one of those things that's like just keeps happening. I don't know. He hasn't realized when will you learn the consequences of your action. So the next title for the title for the new Spider-Man movie was revealed. It's called Far From Home. This was revealed because Tom Holland was on stream. And Axel was like, I got the new script for the new Spider-Man movie. I'm not supposed to tell you anything about it. And he shows the script, and it says Spider-Man Far From Home, like on the front of the script.
I wonder if Disney / Marvel or whatever are just giving him stuff to reveal on accident as part of a viral marketing campaign.
I mean, if they are, it's a good fucking idea. Well, what I think what it might be is it's like, we're going to give this to him, and he might not. But if he does,
They're like, here, Tom Holland, don't reveal this.
better not reveal it this time. Okay, guys, I won't. I promise.
I remember-
I've messed up a lot of times in the past. Okay, but we're counting on you.
And he's like, guys, I can't reveal this right here, but let me
Son
tell
of
you,
a
it's
bitch.
big.
I found it funny when he was on an interview with someone, and then there was another actor. I think it was
It might have been Hawkeye.
I thought it was the guy who played Tony Stark or whatever.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Robert. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name for a second. But he was like, Tom Holland was starting to say something. He was like, no, wait. And he had to like jump in and cut him off to stop him from like talking about Homecoming before it came out or something. Apparently, it's the villain in Far From Home is going to be Mysterio, which is a really cool choice because they haven't done that before.
I don't think they've ever done Mysterio like outside of animation and video games.
Yeah. And Mysterio is one of the cool.
Not even in the comics.
Not even in the comics.
Actually, they use Mysterio in the comics for some things, like you know the Old Man Logan comic book.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Do you know the reason why Wolverine murders all of the X-Men is because Mysterio puts a hallucination in him, and he just fucking murders everyone.
Wow.
And that's how Old Man Logan like starts. Well, it doesn't start with that, but they like that's how the universe gets as fucked up as it is, because basically he just murders all the X-Men, and a bunch of other villains work together fighting each other's villains or for each other's heroes to like screw up the world. Is basically the how that world goes to shit. So
that's how one of the Superman things went. Except he killed Lois Lane and murdered the Joker.
Yeah, that's
Injustice. That was Injustice. Yeah,
that was Injustice. Evil Superman universe.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, that was a tangent.
Anyway, we're good. We have nothing else.
Yeah. So anyway,
Disney has boosted
the new Spider-Man movie is Big Wheel.
Yeah, that's cool. Disney has boosted its bid for Fox, all of its films, to 700 billion.
Wow.
71.3
71.3 billion. Sorry,
in cash and stock, and this officially closes the deal. So Disney is buying Fox now.
Yeah, that's about 10% of what you said, though. But
yeah,
that's still
still a heck of a chunk of cash.
Basically, they had done that bid earlier this year, which was mostly a stock bid.
Yeah.
Then Comcast, without being asked for it, is like, "We'll buy Fox. Here's money. In cash." And then Disney's like, and then Fox is Disney's like, well, here's like 11 more billion. And I guess we'll do some of it in cash if that's what you want. And then they're like,
hey,
yeah, we're going with Disney. We like Disney better than Comcast because everybody hates Comcast.
Yeah.
Disney will.
You know what?
Disney
I bet that the CEO
Disney Woo.
Or what's his name? Rupert Murdoch of Fox was like, you know, fuck Comcast. They keep raising my cable bill. And then they went with Disney.
Rupert Murdoch of Fox was like, ugh! And Bob Iger was like, yeah, here's fucking $1 billion. Here's like $71 billion. I'm gonna buy your shit. Ugh! And that's how the thing went.
Oh my god!
Maybe I can finally pay for my cable bill from Comcast.
Rupert Murdoch's son looks just like Bill Hemmer.
Oh,
James Murdoch looks identical to one of the like news hosts on Fox News.
I've never seen them together in a room.
James Murdoch literally looks like Bill Hemmer but with glasses.
I'm just imagining like Rupert Murdoch was in like the interviewing process for this man. He's like, so I'm here to interview to be a news anchor. You look like my son. You're hired.
Hold on.
Okay. Good.
I gotta.
Thanks, Dad. I mean, sir.
Oh, sometimes he has a beard and then he looks different.
Oh, okay. Yeah, beards tend to do that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
So, MTV is going to bring back Daria.
Why? What's the problem?
Well, it is a reboot, but
didn't you want to show all about that one? Diane don't you want a whole show about Diane from BoJack Horseman? That's what Daria is.
I want a whole show about Princess Carolyn.
Yeah. Give me that. I don't know.
Oh, this one isn't a movie story.
I don't remember a whole lot about Daria, but like
Daria was pretty okay. It's pretty good. It was a good show. They're bringing it back, you know. I feel like this is an apt time to bring Daria back. I feel like it would resonate.
Yeah, I suppose.
It would hit all the right markets and make all the right money.
Oh wait, there's more news in this article that you linked.
Oh no.
They're also working on a reboot of The Real World for some reason. A reboot of Aeon Flux, which is actually pretty cool.
Wow, that I didn't know.
And the sequel to Daria is called Daria and Jody. So it's not a reboot. It's not a reboot. It's actually like a sequel series, apparently.
Okay, that's funky.
All right.
I wonder if they'll just make it like BoJack just in the future.
Maybe.
Anyway. It sounds like they're shopping these shows around to Netflix, Hulu, and Apple, so they might, rather than appearing on MTV at all, they might just sell them directly to Netflix.
Oh, good.
Which is probably a good way to do things anyway, because I don't think anyone watches MTV for.
Yeah, I mean,
for
remember
that anymore.
when they rebooted Beavis and Butthead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not until I mentioned it, huh?
No,
I
I
don't
watched
want
the
to.
first episode, but I don't think I had.
Ever liked Beavis and
well, no,
Butthead?
it's not that.
Oh.
It's like I couldn't get on the time schedule on MTV because it was all wacky.
No, fair enough.
It was
Also,
like, hey, we'll play music at 6 a.m. for 30 minutes, and now watch Beavis and Butthead.
Also, this
once.
article is in the wrong call. But oops.
Yeah, I was about to say. Next in movie stories, Valve has disabled trading in the Netherlands. Let's move on to game stories and start with that one. Why don't we?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So,
yeah. So a while back, the Netherlands basically told Valve that they have to make some changes to how their stuff works, or else they're not going to be able to, or it'll be illegal in the Netherlands apparently.
Yeah.
And those things were item trading in CS:GO and Dota 2, specifically, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So what Valve has done, because I don't know, like rather than changing anything, they decided to make it so you can't trade in the Netherlands for Dota 2 and Counter-Strike unless you use a VPN.
Team Fortress 2?
It doesn't say Team Fortress 2.
That's strange. I mean, CS:GO and Dota are definitely the ones where you play a slot machine to win money.
Well,
But
they
you
did
can
all
do that in
trading.
TF2 as well.
They disabled all trading in the
Oh,
Netherlands.
okay. Interesting.
But well, it says for Dota 2 and Counter-Strike. I think maybe the reason why is Dota 2 and Counter-Strike, but I don't think.
But they disabled trading in general.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can't transfer or trade any items at this point in the Netherlands.
Are you still able to gift games?
Yeah, because that's still a purchase. Well, you can't.
Right.
You can. You probably can't trade a game copy, but you could gift a game copy. I think
You probably can't give someone like a.
Well, because what you can in Steam purchase a game and have it in your inventory.
Yeah, I don't think you can trade a game, but I think you could gift it still.
Send it as a gift
someone.
item.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they said that they don't understand or agree with the Dutch Gaming Authority's legal conclusion. They're going to appeal and all that stuff and blah, blah, blah. But until any of that happens, it's just disabled there, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Sucks to suck, Netherlands.
But, this isn't... This is kind of like continuing the whole loot box controversy thing.
Yeah.
The reason why CS:GO and Dota 2 in particular, this is an issue, is because actually CS:GO is almost identical to TF2 with how it works. You kind of buy a crate and a key and unlock it, and you get a skin, and then you can sell that skin. So it works essentially identically. It's even more just representational though, because I don't think they change anything in CS:GO, whereas in TF2, at least you could get a different weapon that does a different thing.
Right. Yeah, like it is flat out playing a slot machine. You spend $250 to spin the slot machine, and if you get a good skin, you can sell it.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know how Dota 2 works though, but
Dota is similar, except instead of having a box of a bunch of random items, they sell 10 random skins in one box, and those are limited time boxes. So like, since some of the skins are limited, they'll appreciate in value, but it's still really pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, so gambling.
Yeah.
It's funny because people have been complaining about like essentially the Battlefront deal, but this is what is actually going to happen if we continue down the call the governments to tell them to change stuff, which I don't know. I like the idea of having a marketplace for like cards and stuff, but when it's random and you have to purchase random stuff, that's where it gets kind of iffy on me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. If you get loot box stuff, but you don't have to buy it, like if you get loot boxes and you unlock it and then you can sell those on the trading market. I like that better than buying loot boxes to sell it on the trading market, because then it does take away that gambling thing, and then it's just a trading thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. But at the same time, like, the whole thing was kind of kicked off with, well, it wasn't kicked off with, but the whole idea of like trading cards was a similar thing. Like, you got a booster pack, you would get random cards, and then you would sell whatever you didn't like or get rid of it or trade it. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, this is kind of one of those things where this probably wouldn't happen in a place like the United States, just because there's already been rulings by the high courts in the United States that trading cards do not count as gambling, because they're not money. They are a token that you can that has value.
And like specifically, you mean like real life trading cards, like baseball cards?
Yeah, baseball card. Real
you
life.
Could buy a baseball card booster.
I think it was actually Magic the Gathering cards was actually the court case, but
that's kind of surprising. I would have thought it would have been
isn't.
baseball cards.
Well, no, not really, because I don't know. Magic the Gathering is a lot more popular than you probably think it is.
Well, so are baseball
Especially,
cards.
well, no, baseball cards were kind of a flash in the pan, though.
That's true.
Magic the Gathering's been around for like 15 years, and it's only gotten more.
Right.
I don't know. There's a reason why Wizards of the Coast is still around.
Yeah, fair enough.
And that reason is Dungeons and Dragons.
No,
No, it's
Dungeons
not.
and Dragons is tanking their company for a while, but
Yeah.
anyway, I don't know. I like the idea of trading. I don't like the idea of gambling per se, but I don't know. Like, as
So what I find strange is that they disabled trading instead of the marketplace, or they probably disabled both, but like you couldn't trade an item for another item either, from the sounds of it.
Right. Well, the reason why is because the way that the Netherlands looks at this is it's not gambling to open a loot box. It's gambling if you cash out for value.
Right. So if you completely disable the marketplace,
but you can what you can do in the marketplace is sell things for money.
Right.
Or trade for other things of value, like a game. So I think trading is part of it for them, because it is a way to cash out.
Right.
So I don't know.
I see.
Because then you get the same thing, like TF2 earbud economy, right?
Yeah.
You start getting things that represent money that are tradable for something that is a good, even if it's not money. It becomes money because people use it as a currency at a certain point.
But you could say that for like anything. Like in an MMO, are MMOs going to start being illegal in the Netherlands? Because in World of Warcraft you can trade items in the game for gold from other players. Like gold represents
because you
money.
can't
because you can't like buy.
You can't cash it out. You can't buy a video game with gold in World of Warcraft.
But you can buy more World of Warcraft time.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
It is. You can.
It's still the same video game. You can't buy like a different video game with it. You can't make a purchase with it. You can't make like a purchase. Of
you could buy loot boxes
game.
You could buy loot boxes in Overwatch with it, but
yeah,
it's like, I mean, it is like a silly distinction, I grant you, but it is because there is monetary, like a specific monetary, like
there's like a specific dollar value on it. Yeah.
So I don't know, and I think maybe it isn't that. Maybe it is just that you can cash it out, and maybe on Valve's end it's just easier to disable all trading because of the money aspect rather than I don't know. I don't know why exactly they went this route, but the reason why is because Netherlands thinks the cashing out is the problem.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And I don't know. I assume you can still buy the loot boxes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, if they disabled trading, I assume you would still be able to buy the boxes.
Yeah, because it doesn't sound like they changed it. This is just a quick thing. Pokemon Go added trading. Speaking of trading.
Oh my god, I actually have something real quick to say about this.
Yeah, why don't you talk about it?
Pokemon Go added trading in such a way that you are not allowed to trade with anybody who is not your friend. For okay, yeah. So you have to be friends with somebody, and then you have to go around with them and do content such as raids and playing nearby each other in order to upgrade your friendship level with that person, and then you can trade with them, which is fucking stupid.
That's pretty awful. Yeah.
Yeah. You if you just made friends with somebody, you can trade with them immediately upon adding them as a friend, but you can only trade for Pokemon that you have in your Pokédex already, which completely undermines the purpose of trading.
I didn't know that.
You have to actually go around and do things with them in order to be able to trade Pokemon.
I mean, but if you get duplicates, then you can raise the level of the Pokemon or something, right?
Sort of.
So don't you need duplicates anyway in Pokemon Go? I forget how it works.
No, you don't need duplicates. When you catch a duplicate, you get candy, which you can feed to your Pokemon to raise its level. But you also need Stardust to raise its level, and it costs Stardust to trade. So you're better off to just. There's no point. There's no point in this system. It might as well not be there.
Huh. That's very odd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get higher level, can you get Pokemon in a different?
Let's see.
Pokedex? I haven't played Pokemon Go since it basically came out.
Yeah, so you need to become a good friend to trade things that are not in your own Pokédex, which estimated content worth of time doing together, gym or raid battles, is about a day. So like that's reasonable, right? But you still can't trade mythical Pokemon, which is any like legendary or limited event, including things like if there were also you have to be right next to each other, which is a little but like if there were a Japanese tourist in your town and he wanted a Tauros, you would have to stick around and play with him for 90 days before you could trade a Tauros, because that's a region locked Pokemon, which counts as mythical. Like there's basically this system that they've added is essentially worthless.
Did they release like a statement explaining why it was like that?
They want you to meet people and make friends. Like that's the whole point of Pokemon Go, is to meet people and make friends, but it's pointless. Like this system that they've added is pointless.
Yeah.
There are a shit ton of Pokemon Go players, and I feel like,
I mean, I guess
I feel like you will make friends, like, eventually. It's one of those things where eventually someone will just play with you after you traded with them.
Yeah, like it's still like but like
I feel like it's not super organic.
Yeah, it's not organic. It like forces you to like if you're like walking around playing Pokemon Go, you see a dude and you're like, "Hey man, you got a Seviper? What do you need? I got a bunch of Pokemon laying around." He's like, "Yeah, can I get this thing?" And you're like, yeah, sure. And then you have to have a real human conversation to even start trading with somebody.
Yeah, the only thing that this helps is people who already play Pokemon Go in a group.
Yeah. Or people who just know,
in which case
Pokemon
you wouldn't have any Pokemon that they didn't have anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't, and like, if you don't need doubles of Pokemon because of how it works. I thought you got doubles and then you could convert it.
You get doubles and then you grind them up into candy to feed, but you get like 1 candy for a double and you get like 10 candy for catching that Pokemon. So like...
Yeah, but what you could do is you and a friend could go and catch a bunch of Pokemon, and then you could funnel all of the one Pokemon into each other.
Yeah.
Sure.
Especially if the more you play together, the cheaper the cost gets. Because I think I'm reading the Stardust cost goes down the better friends you become with someone. So this seems like it only really benefits people who play a lot together and are training a specific Pokemon, because they can sort of funnel specific Pokemon into each other.
Right. And having any Stardust,
it seems odd because this seems pointless. It does seem pointless.
It is. Any Stardust cost for trading also just really sucks, with the limitations. Like, I don't mind having a Stardust cost if there weren't all these limitations, because then it's like you can meet a dude, but you need to do your Stardust, because Stardust is like inordinately hard to get. Like, you can have a million fucking candy, and then you won't be able to level up your Pokemon more than twice, because in the million fucking candies worth of Pokemon you caught, you got like 1,000 Stardust, and it costs 1,200 to level up your Pokemon. Like, it's just not. It doesn't make any sense.
Hmm. Yeah.
What the fuck, Pokemon Go? What the fuck?
Let's
Yeah.
see
Oh.
if you're okay. Well, it looks like
Also, if they had another failure of a fucking like festival, then unless that shit lasts 90 fucking days, that's not exactly gonna be a lot of shit there either.
No,
so
exactly.
for a shiny or a legendary on the best friend status, which is like the best you can get,
Yeah.
it still costs 40,000 Stardust.
Yeah. Which is like, I don't think I've ever had 40,000 Stardust at one time, because I'm leveling up my Pokemon all the time.
Wait, is there like a set cost to Pokemon?
What?
What do you mean by set cost?
Okay, all right.
For trading. There's a cost in Stardust for trading.
Okay,
Which
And then
Stardust
there-
you can only get like 100 at a time for catching a Pokemon.
okay.
Yeah. What you could do though is if you are friends with someone in another country, you can send gifts back and forth. And if you do it for 90 days consecutively, then you could get to the best friend level.
And then if they ever come
and-
to see you.
Yeah, and then if one of the two of you come to see each other, then you could swap like Tauros for, I don't know, Kangaskhan or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever the region lock Pokemon is.
Regional is a bit cheaper. Actually, regional are the same price as normal. You just can't
really?
if you're a friend, you can only if you're a good friend, you can trade
Right.
for 20,000 for regionals, but 800 if you're on best friend status. So it actually isn't super expensive if you're on the best friend status, but the only way to do that without being local is by sending gifts, I guess.
Like, here's the thing. This friend system seems really cool, right? Like, you get an attack bonus if you're battling a gym, and you get additional balls for raids and stuff like that, and you can send cool gifts. Like, that seems really cool. Tying it to trading, though, like, trading is a mainstay of Pokemon that they have been promising since the game came out.
Since before, since the very
since
first
before,
trailer
yeah.
of the game.
And then they go ahead and like tie it to this friend thing, which makes it inordinately fucking difficult to actually do.
Can you buy Stardust?
No.
Because I was gonna say, if you could,
is by catching Pokemon.
So is there a backlash to this?
Not that I've seen, but I haven't really looked into it. I saw this, I was like, oh cool, trading, maybe I'll play Pokemon Go again. And then I read this, and then I was like, no, you're pretty much just guaranteeing that I'm not gonna play Pokemon Go again, because everything you've done to the game since it started has been shitty. It sounded really cool, and then it turned out to be shitty every time.
Yeah.
And this one doesn't even sound cool. I'm just pissed. Like, I don't mind having a conversation with somebody playing Pokemon Go to be like, hey, what kind of cool Pokemon you got? Oh, I got this that you don't have. Like, that would be a cool organic conversation, a way to start a conversation, make a friend. But forcing you to be friends and interact with each other day after day like that is just shitty. It's not like something that, like, if you make a friend, that's cool, but that's not how friendships are made.
Yeah, by forcing them to talk to each other through the system.
Yeah.
What the fuck, Pokemon Go? What the fuck? You keep doing this. You keep fucking up.
Yeah, seriously.
Stop. Stop fucking up. Do good things. Don't do bad ones. Jeez.
And my phone's GPS is broken, so I actually couldn't play if I wanted to.
Oh, all right,
Which
yeah,
I
fair
don't.
enough.
It just eats my battery. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Plus, I have to go outside, and it's 118 out today, I think.
Fair
Fuck,
enough.
dude.
Or I don't know. It's probably not. That was probably. Let me.
Poor you saying it's only 108 here. We're
Let's
living
see.
the easy life.
Actually 105. So it's
Are
actually
you
cooler
fucking
here.
kidding me? It's hotter here?
Also, our humidity is 7%. What's yours?
I don't know, like 90, probably.
I live out in the middle of the sticks, so unless I want to play Pokemon Go with the actual deer, then, well...
Actually, the nice thing about the summer months is you would think that they would be the hottest months of the year in Arizona. And for some of them, they are, but at the same time, we get the monsoon season, which makes it really rainy and stuff and nice. So
Yeah.
So actually, like, our hottest time of the year tends to sometimes be not that bad either. So
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, I don't know. But this Pokemon Go thing is like,
It's dumb. It's stupid. These guys are idiots. Why did they do this?
yeah.
Um.
I get what they're I get the intention behind it, but I just don't
Right.
see how they went through this testing and they expected everybody to be happy with this because
Yeah. Because the way that they tested it was probably internal testing, where all of their fucking office workers knew each other and were already good friends and saw each other every day because they work in the same fucking office.
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know, like I feel like that would still not have that level of like this is too obvious a problem for it to be like that easy for them to overlook. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
feel like I have to be
Someone
missing
at
something.
some point had to have sat down with them and being like, "Hey, wait, this
Yeah.
doesn't like."
I mean, maybe it does work this way, but it just feels like I have to be missing something because this is just too stupid for it to be actually how it
Yeah.
works. I don't know.
Like, to even be able to trade with somebody, you have to know them for a full 24 hours. Like,
Yeah.
to essentially to be able to trade with anybody for anything that you would want to trade for.
Yeah.
Like, it's trading. As far as Pokemon is concerned, trading has always been one of the best ways to complete your Pokédex, which is the tagline of fucking Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. You want to complete your Pokédex. That's the point, right? Might not be the point for some people, but that's like the thing that they sell up in Pokemon, you know, collect them all. And this just makes it hard. If you're already friends with somebody, you probably have very similar Pokemon.
Yeah. Because if you live near each other, you probably only have the same
You
Pokemon.
get the same
Yeah.
spawns of shit. And then, like, if he got lucky and caught, like, I don't know, a Magmar somewhere, and he's like, oh, wow, I caught this, and you weren't with your friends at the time, and you didn't get it, he's probably not going to want to give that up. You know?
Apparently, they originally only rolled it out to max level players to piss people off even more. Because
What would they need with it?
well, max, yeah, but the person who wrote this article said they've been playing every single day since the game came out, and they're only level 32, so they can't even access it themselves.
Jesus Christ.
So, you know, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably how much you play it as well, but like, it's
Yeah. The max level players are the people. That was another thing that they fucked up a while ago is when they came out with EX raids, which were like super special raid battles to get extra special Pokemon. They basically, you got EX raid tickets from doing raids, right? And you had a small chance to do it, and you're only allowed to do one raid per day unless you spend money, or if you are a higher level player that can do raids so successfully that you get another raid ticket from those raids. So these EX raids, which gave you the strongest of the strongest Pokemon in the game, were only available to max level players for all intents and purposes. And even then, the EX raid ticket was like, oh yeah, here's this place. It's only 2 miles away from where you live, and the event will be running for 30 minutes. So like, it was pretty much, they were pretty much only available to people who really know life the game. And of course, the people who really know life the game profit a lot off them. But like, it's like all they seem to care about is the people who do nothing but play Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're also cracking down on sites that map where Pokemon are at.
Yeah.
But like, seems
Well,
like why not have that? Because in real life you would know where Pokemon are at. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless it's taxing their server somehow, because
Well, initially there
Could be,
was one that just showed all of the Pokemon spawns in every area by triangulating their You remember how early on in Pokemon Go they had like how many steps away something was?
yeah, they're nearby steps.
A website would use the information from the server to triangulate exactly where the Pokemon were. And that was what was caught. Like, it wasn't Pokemon Go servers being too shit to handle the players, it was them being too shit to handle that website.
Yeah.
Like that website would just ping every single Pokemon in the game everywhere at all times, and their servers couldn't handle that.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
so that's why they cracked down on that site.
Well, yeah, but it seems to be doing that on a lot of sites, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe like maybe there's a map somewhere that just has sightings based on players, but I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
The fuck Pokemon Go.
Yeah, I don't know.
In conclusion,
I wish
Pokemon Go is shit.
I wish they didn't change Pokemon Go from normal Pokemon as much as they have. Like, I get needing to mobilize a game, but to that extent seems crazy.
I think the combat's the number one thing that I hate. They could so very easily have just made it turn-based. Like, don't even fucking change how your moves work. Like, you have your special move and your not
They could have made
move.
it action-based, just make it good.
Mm-hmm.
It's boring.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about doing gyms or whatever because I feel like the only difference is which number is bigger, and that literally is the only thing that matters.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on.
Yeah, thank goodness.
Left?
Yeah, I've got a couple things.
Okay.
Were you gonna you were gonna talk about this Twitch streamers being banned thing?
Yeah. So this is to me, this is a story like streamers beware, right? Essentially a ton of popular Twitch streamers were they got temporary DMCA bans, right? Because they were streaming copyrighted music on their streams, which everybody all the time, what you hear when, am I allowed to stream music? Everybody will tell you, and this is word for word what you hear every single time somebody asks this question. No, you're not allowed. But millions of popular Twitch streamers, I'm talking Twitch partners, do it all the time, so nothing's gonna happen to you.
Yeah.
Plus you're at a disadvantage if you don't, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the fact that it's been going on this long, and it's only now that we're seeing DMCA's and bans for it.
To these really popular streamers, especially, yeah.
It's just
people get DMCA'd all the time. They get their VODs muted. Yeah, like this was kind of a big deal. There were like a lot of like Twitch partners that were temporarily banned, and it's not. And everybody's like throwing a tizzy about Twitch doing this to people. Like, Twitch did not do this to people. The record labels send a DMCA to Twitch. Twitch has no choice but to comply.
Yeah.
Because like the way their terms of service were, mini websites, the way that the website's terms of service work is that they say they are not responsible for things that users generate, right? And therefore within that agreement, if the users do something that is illegal or like they get a DMCA notice, they have to comply with that DMCA notice by telling the streamers to cut it out.
Yeah, they're called safe harbor laws. So those laws are meant to protect companies from being destroyed by user generated content. And like, this is a conversation that Dalsson and I had when you first started streaming. We talked about whether or not we were going to use music, and I was from the get-go going like, hard no. Like, no, you should never stream music because that'll only get you in trouble. And granted, it like everybody does it, and it doesn't really affect people that much that often, but now it is. So like,
point is, we're not nearly popular enough for it to be okay.
Yeah. But it's
for
not
it to be not okay because they're targeting the people who are big.
Right.
Oh yeah, that too.
So here's the interesting thing, right? The DMCA issue or notice was issued by the record labels, and they got banned 2 hours away from a huge Fortnite tournament. I mean, we're talking like 500,000 viewers, easy, right? And a couple of these people that were going to participate and stream this tournament were banned for 24 hours. And so like they were trying to get into contact with Twitch, and Twitch hadn't said anything for, an hour. Like they only had 2 hours to get this overturned, right? Twitch hadn't gotten back to them within that hour or whatever. So they had to contact fucking the artist
like Warner
of
Brothers
the
or
music.
something.
No. They had to they what they did was they got in touch with the artist of the music that they were playing because they couldn't get in contact with Twitch, and everybody's like all up in arms about that. It's like, it's fucking ridiculous that these streamers had to contact Juice World to get their DMCA overturned instead of Twitch overturning it. And it's like, Twitch can't fucking overturn it. Like they can't do it. They have to comply with the DMCA.
Also, even if you get in touch with the artist, I don't think it's up to them. I think it's up to the label holders.
It's not. When the artist was contacted, he was like, wow, that's fucking shitty. Fuck my record label. Why would they do that to you?
Yeah.
You can't do anything though, sorry.
Yeah, because the way that things work, and you, like, anybody who does any public events or anything knows, like, you have to, in order to present music to a audience of any kind, like in real life or live streams or TV shows or anything, you have to pay for a license for how many, like, for an audience. Like, it's I forget the term for it, but there's like it's like shit, not like a concert fee, but like a, I don't know, performance fee or something like that.
Something like that,
So, like, normal people pay money, or, well, normal people, I guess, people who are putting on events and stuff where they have an audience are supposed to pay money to license the music. Like, so,
and like
someone on Twitch who has 20,000 viewers technically should be licensing the music as well. They just aren't.
They just have a playlist of stuff, so like they'd have to license every single song in their fucking playlist, and like that would be a lot of money for them, and so they don't.
Yeah, what you have to do is go to like there are websites that have playlists of music that are free to present.
Twitch in fact has some.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean just like clips. I mean like actual songs. Like I think OC Remix has a thing where you can.
No. Twitch has like a Spotify playlist that they have up that is royalty free music you can play on your stream, and it's all shit.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like there are places where you can find that aren't just shit royalty free music. It's like actual music. I think OC Remix in particular is a good one that people use because it's like remixed video game music essentially, which since they hold that version, since they hold the license for that remix, they would be the ones receiving the DMCA for any music, not the person. Like you could still receive it, but you're not actually the one responsible. It'd be them. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's kind of this weird middleman loophole thing. But
you know what that reminds me of, which it's really funny. I heard this story about a guy playing he was playing like one of those Kaizo Mario games, right? And it was using the regular Super Mario Brothers 2 music or whatever. It was not a remix, it was nothing. And the streamer got copyright claimed and DMCA taken down by some DJ who remixed the Super Mario Bros. 2 theme song.
Well, that's just
and of course that got overturned, but
yeah, that's just like YouTube content ID doing stupid shit. Or whatever website. Like because YouTube, like we got false claimed on the which conference was it? Which conference was it? That one of the conferences,
the PC gaming conference.
Yeah, the PC gaming conference we did for E3 got content claimed by Rooster Teeth, who did the exact same shit as us. So
it was overturned because like we didn't even have to fight it. It was just overturned because they realized, oh shit, the content ID was acting funny.
Yeah. So it's just like that stuff happens and it's stupid, but I don't know.
Yeah. But like
the takeaway here is make sure you own or have the right licensing or are allowed to use whatever music that you have in the background when you're playing Twitch, or you might get DMCA'd.
Yeah. That's the big takeaway. And like you're not immune and like I don't people here's the thing, people bitch about everything that Twitch does. Like people have been bitching for literal years about Twitch favoring partners and never getting them in trouble. And now all these partners are getting in trouble because of their music. They're like, oh, the partners can do it, and it's just because Twitch doesn't care because they're partners. And now they're getting in trouble, and people are like, why would you do this? Fucking
Well,
Twitch.
you have to keep in mind that one voice isn't always the same voice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's two different people. It's PewDiePie fans versus people trying to get big on Twitch.
Yeah, I suppose it's
Yeah,
true.
so
But like, yeah, I don't know. It's just funny, the disparity.
okay, moving on. We got Ni no Kuni 2, a game that Dalsson and I have both played and enjoy. And we have talked about multiple times on this podcast. Has added 2 difficulty modes. So one of the complaints of the game was that it was too easy. And actually some of our complaints was similarly, like it's kind of really easy. They added 2 difficulty modes, hard and expert, in addition to normal, which is like, I think there was easy, normal, and then now there's hard and expert. And you can change the difficulty anytime from the menu or when you're starting a new game. So cool.
Yeah.
I might play it some more because that's cool.
Yeah, it added new equipment, new accessories, and playing on harder difficulty levels gives you a chance to get accessories with 2 skills on them instead of 1, which is also really cool. So like it actually actively encourages you to play on higher difficulty levels.
Yeah, they give you a reason to more so than just it's harder.
Mm-hmm.
Which I would probably turn it up just because it is too easy. But,
it's pretty easy.
So anyway, that's cool, but that was just like a minor thing. I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah. So there's this this lawsuit here. On a next topic, Bethesda is suing Warner Brothers.
Because
Rose. Okay. Over similarities between Westworld and Fallout Shelter. Apparently. So this Westworld thing, is it like it's a video? Is it a mobile game? Yeah, Westworld mobile.
It is a mobile game, and I played it after I heard this. It is flat out identical to Fallout Shelter. Like, yeah. Bethesda is totally in the right for suing them. I played it. It is literally the same game as Fallout Shelter. Yeah. From building a theme park instead of a Fallout Shelter to each room is the same. It does the same thing. You got your power room and your food room and your water room, and each room does the same thing. You unlock them at the same number of guests.
I'm sorry. I would like to point out though, Westworld is the is a Fallout Shelter with the worst art style.
Yeah,
it looks like a slightly more flat Family Guy. It's terrible.
I thought so. I thought when I first read this title, I thought Fallout Shelter was suing the show Westworld, and I was like, what? But apparently they just straight up stole illegal copy, or like they illegally stole copyrighted source code from Fallout Shelter somehow.
And they did, and you could tell that they did. And here is one of the linchpins in Bethesda's argument. You can tell that they stole source code because there are not just one but multiple bugs that were in Fallout Shelter are also reproducible in the same ways in the Westworld video game.
That's pretty funny.
So like,
that's fucking hilarious.
So like Bethesda's lack of QA is coming back to help them.
Yeah.
You did it, Bethesda. It finally came in handy. Finally, when you walked out into Westworld and saw fucking horses falling from the sky, Bethesda realized something was up.
So the weird thing about this is like, this is the kind of story you get from like weird. What was that What was that dinosaur shooting video game? Like, this is the kind of story you get out of.
Oh my god, I don't want to talk about it.
Out of like developers who are like indie teams, or like single people who are just straight up ripping off a major company. How is it that a major company stole source code from another major company and tried to sell it as is. Like,
Warner Brothers has been a fucking mess.
how, like, yeah, the develop,
The reason
like,
that Orion
game
Dino
publishing
anything
studios.
was able to survive
yeah.
for so long was because nobody fucking cared about it.
Yeah, but then they started discovering that people, like, they were like literally stealing texture, like gun textures and stuff from Call of Duty. Like, how is nobody gonna notice that?
Yeah.
I like, so, but it's just crazy to me that, like, a major publishing company is publishing a game that is stealing from another major publishing company on mobile platforms.
I can explain it really easily. They wanted to cash in. Fallout Shelter is one of the top grossing games still.
No, I know. Don't get me wrong.
They wanted to cash in. They could have made a similar game, but they just straight up
No,
stole
yeah, you would
shit.
think a major like that's what someone who's stupid would do. That shouldn't be a publisher.
You would think that they would be like, make a game that's like this, rather than like literally steal their fucking code.
Here's the source code
Deadass.
from Fallout Shelter. Make new graphics.
So this is obviously someone somewhere who's getting fired.
Someone's fucking fired.
Yeah. If
heads are rolling right now.
So, like, this, I don't know. This is something that shouldn't have gotten to this point. Like, someone should have caught this.
Yeah, like it's funny because it's like,
no one will catch
like,
us. It's fine.
We talked a couple months ago about like PlayerUnknown suing all of these battle royale mobile games that are coming out that are just blatant ripoffs of PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. But like this, like
This
those
is
are a bunch.
great.
Those are a
But
bunch.
on that story, we defended all of the other ones because it's like Battlegrounds. They didn't steal your source code. You've got nothing on them.
Yeah, that's like fucking John Carmack suing fucking 3D Realms for making Duke Nukem or something. It's like,
yeah,
it's fine.
And this is the situation where if this is
John
what
Carmack suing
PlayerUnknown
Cliff Bleszinski for making Unreal.
Yeah,
if this
It's
is what
fine.
PlayerUnknown was actually like suing over, like stolen source code, then it would have been in the right. This is why this is totally different. Like,
this is
exactly.
what the fuck?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting to. Like
Yeah.
we heard about him suing all those little nobodies who weren't really gonna make any money off of it, and like even then it's not his original idea in the first place.
Well, no. Well,
Yeah.
PlayerUnknown never sued the little bullshit ones. They only have sued Knives Out, which is a Chinese one who's gigantic by Tencent, I think.
Right.
And then the other one is Epic Games. So
Right.
they're suing people who have money. They're not suing
Yeah.
bullshit people. And then this is probably why this lawsuit exists too, because any other Joe Schmo, they would do a DMCA or like a court order to cease and desist.
Right.
This is like they're suing Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers actually has money.
Yeah, Warner Brothers like sent this to some guys. They're like, hey yo, make us a fucking Westworld video game that's like Fallout Shelter or something. My kid plays that, yeah. And then like when they get like the fucking like, sir, you are currently being sued by Bethesda for stealing their source code. Man gets on the phone. You fucking what?
Yeah, it's like,
excuse me. You downloaded their fucking game and retextured it. What the fuck? I don't even know what that fucking means. So what you're telling me is that you stole their fucking game and then
like,
re-released
Jesus.
it. Are you fucking with me? God damn it. I mean, you're fired, needless to say, but holy shit.
Yeah.
You're only fired after I'm done yelling at you. I'll pay you the extra $20 to keep yelling at you here.
So the funny thing is,
in fact, I expect $20 for you for my fucking time. Hangs up.
a funny thought too is
And
like
another thing.
Yeah, and another thing.
a funny thought too is like, if you're Bethesda and you find out, you mean Warner Brothers stole our source code? They don't get upset. That's not a situation you get upset in. Bethesda goes, yes.
Yeah, we made a good game.
Like, oh,
They're like, yes, now is the time to sue the shit out of them and add to our coffers.
Yeah.
Todd Howard just like leans back in his chair like,
Todd-
what a
Todd's
good
like,
fucking month. Good
Pete-
fucking month.
Yeah,
hey,
like
Petey, can I have like 10% of our earnings to put into Fallout 76, please?
this is a situation where Todd Howard walks into the Fallout Shelter team and goes, everybody, I have an announcement. Someone stole our source code. And everybody goes, oh,
And then
shit.
everyone just like
no.
a huge, and just like everyone just begins cheering.
And then Todd Howard goes, the people who stole our source code is Warner Brothers. And then everybody who is like sad and depressed goes, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And they're
Warner
like,
Brothers stole our source code. You all get a bonus.
yeah. He's just like, calm down, people. So we're suing them, and you all get a fucking payout. Yeah.
So yeah, this
Hey,
is just
you know what? I'm feeling generous. I'm gonna let
Especially
you,
you, Jeff. You're the one who put the bugs in that are the linchpin of our court case.
so yeah.
Todd
This
Howard
is
leans
just-
back in his chair and just calls up head of Warner Brothers. So guess what? Got news for
This
you.
is
bitch.
just like this is funny in a way that like sometimes you see movie posters that you find out are like literally stolen from other movie posters, like
Yeah.
stuff like that, and it's like a big major company, and you know people might get in trouble or something for that, but like source code is a whole new ball of wax. It's like how did this
it's like
happen?
they basically took the entire game and
How
stole
like,
it.
I could get an artist thinking they could get away with stealing like an image and then repurposing it, but like I
putting it
can't
on a fucking t-shirt or something.
I
Yeah.
can't see
Yeah.
how like a
Major
someone
publisher.
working at Warner Brothers, the head of a team somewhere at Warner Brothers, thinking, "Yeah, I can get away with stealing the source code from Fallout Shelter." Like,
For real. No, like
Yeah.
you're not getting away with that. It ain't
Yeah.
happening.
at least change it a little bit. At least make it look like it's not the same, but having the same like buildings
Well,
and the
that's
same
the thing. What made
mounts
them
and-
look at it in the first place was that it looked so similar. Like they could have made a decent Westworld game with the same concept. You're building an amusement park instead of a shelter for people. But
For
why
Fallout.
why the fuck would you need a water generator in an amusement park full of robots?
Well, for your employees, I don't know, or for your guests, I
No,
guess.
no,
But
you
it
build
just
like a
seems
water
like
tank.
it just seems it's I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't even think Fallout Shelter is a very good idea to steal from for Westworld.
Yeah, it's
like,
got like it works. It works with itself because it's like, oh, that's cool. I get to build a vault.
yeah.
but,
You
like-
have to like come up with a better idea anyway. Jesus.
Yeah, you might as you should steal Roller Coaster Tycoon source code instead, or
Yeah,
something.
that would
like-
make more
Speaking
sense.
of that,
Yeah.
why the fuck aren't there real games on the mobile devices? You could port
Well,
fucking Kingdoms of Might and Magic 3 to mobile devices.
Well, the
Heroes. But yeah,
the reason why Fallout Shelter is as popular as it is because it actually is an
It's
actual
like
game.
a game, yeah. It's
Um,
at least most of a game.
A game that's not a match 3, because match 3s make a lot too, but
Yeah.
like there's so many match 3s that you know my mom plays like 20 match 3s. She
Jesus.
runs out of stamina on one, closes it, and opens a different one. Like,
That's kind of funny.
so you know, there's so many of them that you don't have to spend money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, I think that's our last news story.
Yeah.
We did, in fact, go over by 15 minutes, just like I thought we would.
Thanks. We talked about Pokemon Go and how dumb they are for 20 years.
Yeah,
And the Warner Brothers and how dumb they are for 20 years.
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
So I guess that with that, that's all we're doing for this week. What do you have coming up, Thel? Do you have anything coming up?
Oh, yeah, I got a Vampyr video. The game I talked about earlier. I'm probably not going to talk about the gameplay very much because, I mean, like...
We talked about it here. That's why.
We talked about it here pretty much, yeah. It was okay. It was fine. It was a
So
game.
that's planned
Played it.
for Friday or when?
Yeah, Friday.
Friday. Okay.
Excellent.
Thel or not Thel? Dalsson, what games are you streaming this week? What do you got going on?
Fuck, dude. I don't even know. Honestly, I don't know at this point.
More Warframe and Path of Exile, probably.
I probably won't be streaming Warframe. Warframe is an incredibly boring game to watch. Like,
Yeah.
all it is, all that
It's
happens
also an
when you're
incredibly
watching
boring
something-
game to play.
It is not.
Anyway, so yeah, stay tuned with Dalsson. I'm sure he'll play something interesting. One would hope.
Yeah, I will.
Okay, so that's it for this week. We'll see you guys later, and remember, as always,
Stay beautiful.